Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. We're excited to have you here today. Please take a moment to drop in the chat where you're tuning in from. We always like to see all of the country representation. And for today's webinar, we're going to be spotlighting International AutoSource, Worldwide's key partner in helping international professionals get on the road in the US. With that, I will pass it over to our hosts to introduce themselves.
My name is Zachary. Zach Moslow is good. I've worked for International AutoSource for about 2 years now as the account manager. And so, yeah.
Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whichever part of the world you guys are watching us. My name is Veg. I'm the Director of Licensure and Relocation. We've been in partnership with International AutoSource for several years already, even before Zach probably joined IAS. We've had an ongoing partnership with them, and I know for a fact that a lot of our nurses got their first cars or modes of transportation upon their arrival to the US from International AutoSource.
Perfect. With that, we'll go ahead and kick off this webinar. Zach, go ahead.
Thank you very much. So, yeah, like I said, my name is Zach Moslow. I've been working for International AutoSource as the account manager for about 3 years now. I would like to start off by saying that this was my first global mobility job. And when I first learned that when someone's going to live in a new home country, none of their driving history or credit history travels with them, which immediately set off red flags in my head because I'm thinking, unless you live in like a major city like New York, some kind of major metro hub like that, public transportation really isn't a thing. And, you know, if you want to just go to work, run errands, go out, have some fun with your friends, you really do need a vehicle. And so I'm thinking, how do these people, when they first come, as these expats, when they first come to live in this new home country, how do they get started? And so then I quickly learned about the benefits International AutoSource offers. The main benefit being that by coming to us, we work as a direct distributor with a bunch of manufacturers, and we basically are able to offer the expats that come to us the ability to lease or finance a vehicle at the rate that a local citizen with good credit would expect to see, as opposed to someone just arriving in the country for the first time. And so that's immediately a huge leg up, being able to have access to those affordable monthly payments. But we also noticed that through helping a lot of our clients, that some of them were a little more, they're all very varied in their needs. But one of our client base that stood out to us was our healthcare partners. And we started to see that they really did need some extra attention. And so we created this Healthcare Advantage program with some extra benefits on top of the already very good benefits that International AutoSource offers to all expats. And so, like I said, this program was designed for healthcare professionals, able to provide them with protection, guarantees, and of course, most importantly, savings that they won't have access to anywhere else. Just the access to the good credit rating alone is a huge benefit that they're not going to be able to get access to anywhere else. We don't operate like a middleman. We don't operate like a dealership or like a broker. We operate as a direct distributor for the manufacturers that we partner with. And so, yeah, these savings and benefits are only going to be available through us. Go to the next slide. And so, yeah, so like I was saying, we operate as like a direct distributor. And so we're able to get access to factory direct pre-negotiated prices. And, you know, can only imagine if an expat were to go to a dealership in America, and like imagine myself, like if I were to go to a dealership and try to negotiate for a vehicle in a foreign language, I guarantee I'd walk out of there feeling completely ripped off. Like, I just know I wouldn't feel confident that first of all, I wouldn't feel confident that I understood everything. So a big part of our program is to educate and make sure that they're all comfortable with their choices. And being able to offer these factory direct prices, pre-negotiated in writing, they can see and compare and everything, will definitely give them a lot of peace of mind. And one of the benefits that we're extending to exclusively to our healthcare professionals is the ability to drive away with no money down. So we know that, you know, especially the nurses that are coming over from other countries, they don't have tons of money to just like put out right up front, like, you know, like they just put down and like on a brand new vehicle. We don't expect them to, especially, you know, coming to a new home country. It takes a lot just to get here. And so for healthcare professionals, we have it so that no money down required to take possession of and purchase a vehicle with us, which is another huge benefit that we offer. And yes, the manufacturers that we partner with Ford, Lincoln, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Audi, Volkswagen, Honda, Nissan, Toyota, and then we just got Mazda as well this year. So access to all those manufacturers, basically everything that they're currently manufacturing, we can order and provide. And then, yeah, just, being able to offer them the savings with the no money down and the pre-negotiated prices, very good benefits that we're offering with the privilege pricing exclusive to our programs. You can go to the next slide. And then, yeah, so I mentioned in the beginning, the financing without a credit history. Definitely one of our biggest benefits because, coming here with no credit history, getting put into the lowest credit bracket right next to a 17-year-old, 18-year-old getting their first vehicle is not fair. And so we get their visa, we get their employment history, how long they're going to be here in the country, how much they're going to be making. And we take that information and we basically go to the manufacturer and we basically vouch for them. We say, hey, look, they'll be able to afford it. They'll be here long enough to make the payments and they'll be able to, afford this vehicle. And so we get them the good credit rating, and that good credit rating is very important because that lowers the monthly payments. And so the vehicles are personal vehicles; they'll be in your name, in the expat's name. And so those monthly payments, as they're coming from you, you'll be building up your credit score. And if there's any other important purchases you have to make down the line, you'll have an improved credit score for that as well. And like I said before, no money down, but more importantly as well, we don't limit the amount financed. A lot of places, most banks will limit how much you can borrow. And, you can only, afford this car now, but we don't do any of that. So we make sure that there's no restrictions on what you can be purchasing or how much you can be borrowing. And of course, that's another extreme benefit because it just gives you more options and more choices to be comfortable with the choice that you're making, not feeling like you were pigeonholed into this one car because it was all you could afford. We want them to have access to everything so that they can make a choice that they're comfortable with and have a car that they can feel that they made the right choice with. And yeah, you can go to the next slide again. And so insurance is another important thing. Like I said, these vehicles are going to be personal vehicles in the expat's name, and so they'll have to register the vehicle and get insurance for the vehicle as well. And while International AutoSource doesn't offer in-house insurance, and we're not a broker, so we can't facilitate that through us specifically, our team that will be helping out each expat will be able to introduce them to a few insurance options in their area that we can recommend. Like we know Progressive has an expat program where they can look at your home country driving history, and if that's applicable, they can factor that into your rates. But sometimes it becomes, more local insurance options might be a better choice. So, your insurance rates can change from so many factors, even down to just your address where you live. And so our team can recommend a few options for them, do some introductions and be like, hey, this is someone that we really like in Boston, for example, in Massachusetts. And we can give them a direct connection to an insurance agent and they can kind of get some quotes and compare prices and make a choice that they're happy with again. Because like I said, being comfortable and happy with these choices, it's a big purchase. The car is not a small thing. So we do want them to make sure that they're happy with this at the end of the day. And so, like I said, while we can't offer in-house insurance, we have those connections in basically every region that we're delivering vehicles to across the entire United States. And we can make those introductions for them so that they can have a good foot in the door for making that choice. You go to the next slide. And so, yeah, so concierge service obviously very important because, as an expat coming into the country, you probably don't know really the first thing that's going to be important has to do with purchasing a car. All the documents that's required. Every state has different requirements in order to just register the vehicle. And so we provide them with all of that and assistance in completing all of that. One of the documents that we provide ourselves is called the financial lease qualification form. And that's going to be the form that they fill out that says how much they'll be earning while they're in the United States, or while they're on relocation. And we provide that to them, and then we show that to the manufacturer, the bank, whoever. If it's either sometimes we use Chase Bank, sometimes we use Ford leasing or Audi credit, whoever the bank will be to pay for the loan. But yeah, we provide the documentation and the documents required to be filled out so they can get that completed. And like I said, every state has different requirements to get registered. I know New York has a system where it's the 6-point system where you can provide different documents that, once they add up to 6 points total, then you can register the vehicle. Some states are you can register with a international driver's license, and some states require a state issued driver's license. And so my team will be assisting them every step of the way. And of course, we assist with the vehicle order and delivery process. Basically, we have 3 members of our team that will reach out to them. The first member is just a pre-screener, and they just kind of reach out like, hey, this is who we are, this is what we do, and we offer them our services. And if they would, like to do that, then we connect them with one of our product specialists who handle the vehicle ordering and delivery process. And so once you're speaking with a product specialist, they can kind of go into what kind of vehicle they're looking for. If they move with a family, they need a larger vehicle. If they're going somewhere in the climate requires a 4-wheel drive vehicle, whatever the case may be, but kind of get an idea of what they're looking for. And then they can come back to them and with some quotes in writing, and they can view those and even go out and compare prices as well. We have a price match guarantee where if they can bring us back a quote for the same vehicle that we're offering to them in writing that beats our quote, we're so confident that our rates and our prices are going to be unbeatable that we say that we'll match that quote plus put $500 towards the purchase just to really show our confidence. And, it happens every now and then. Someone does take advantage of us. Maybe they get some amazing deal at the dealership, and, it happens, but it's very rarely. I think it's only happened once since I've started working here. But, good for them. They took advantage of it. And then, so the product specialist will go over the quotes and everything with them, and they say, hey, I'd like to order this vehicle with us. Great. The product specialist will secure that order. And that's when so it takes about 45 days for the vehicle to be delivered from the manufacturer to a dealership where they can then go take possession of it and register and everything. And so they'll secure the order with the product specialist, and then in that 45 days, the last member of my team will reach out to them, which is the delivery coordinator. And those are the people that handle all the documentation. So all the state-specific requirements to get it registered, if they need to get their social appointment done, if they haven't done that already, the registration of the vehicle, they'll talk to the dealership on their behalf if they have any kind of questions and stuff like that. And they'll also be the ones to introduce them to a few insurance options in their area as well. And the delivery coordinators are great. They're there for any kind of question. So even after they take possession of the vehicle, if they still have questions about the payment process or anything like that, they can reach out to them at any time to get that. And of course, customer satisfaction guarantee as well. We want them to be happy with their choice. You go to the next slide. And this is another huge benefit that we're offering to our healthcare professionals. This is something that we don't offer to all expats. But we have a rental program as well that kind of supplements our leasing and financing program. And so on the expat side, like I said, it takes about 45 days for the vehicle to be delivered from the manufacturer to a local dealership. And so in that time, we can offer our expats a rental vehicle at incredible rates. We partner with Avis and Hertz, and we have fully insured, all-inclusive roadside assistance, all the bells and whistles included with our rental vehicles. And it's very nice competitive prices. But healthcare professionals don't even have to worry about any of that. They get access to these rental vehicles for free as long as they purchase a vehicle with us. So they purchase a vehicle with us. We know it's going to take a while for it to be delivered, and they need to be mobile. And we don't want them budgeting outside of what they're already expecting to pay for the lease vehicle. So in the time that they're waiting for the vehicle to be delivered, we provide a rental vehicle completely on us that they can drive until their lease vehicle is delivered. Huge benefit that we only offer to our healthcare professionals, and we coordinate the whole thing for them. It's one point of contact to get the rental situated. So, like I said, the 3 members of the team for the leasing and financing, at the program advisors to reach out, product specialists to help with the quotation and the purchasing of the vehicle, and the delivery coordinators to help them out with all the documentation. And there's like that 4th one that we kind of is separate from the leasing and financing, which is our rental team. One point of contact. They'll reach out and figure out what kind of vehicle you're looking for, what class of vehicle, I should say. And then they coordinate a pickup time and drop-off time, kind of based on when we expect your lease vehicle to be delivered. And if it's not delivered by that date, obviously you keep the rental vehicle until it is. There's no worry about any kind of charges at all, let alone keeping the vehicle longer. But yeah, the rental vehicle is a very nice single point of contact, coordinated it all for you, and it's a free service that exclusive to the healthcare professionals. Very nice benefit. You can just go to the next slide. And then another, probably the last benefit that we have for the healthcare professionals is our healthcare resource guide. It's a very nice online kind of like blog where we have articles about what it's like to drive in the U.S., testimonials from other expats coming to the U.S. Some of them are, in fact, nurse testimonials from other countries. So maybe you can look onto that and see if there's someone from your home country, another healthcare professional, if that's available, and you kind of see what it was like from their point of view. And it's just a very nice resource to kind of get an idea of like what driving is like in the United States, kind of the practices, the processes of getting the vehicle on the road and everything. And yeah, just those testimonials from other expats who've been through the process, and they kind of give you their point of view of what it was like. And the content is not sales related; it's all informative. The whole International AutoSource was built up from my SVP, Afia Arnasia, who was an expat herself. And so this whole thing was all about educating and making people comfortable and confident in their choices. And so this is just an extension of that, really kind of show all the information that we can to make them comfortable when they get here. But yeah, like I said, not sales related. And then, yeah, so this is just kind of an overview of the program. So we have obviously the savings, factory direct, pre-negotiated prices. You don't have to go to a dealership to haggle and negotiate. The price, the factory direct price is what we're passing along to you. So you get all those savings that come along with that. You don't have to worry about MSRP or whatever kind of rates the dealership would jack up to you. Low interest rates, obviously, if you have a better credit rating, the interest rates can go down as well in every state except for Massachusetts and I think Hawaii. It's 2 states that don't allow that, but in every other state, they look at your credit score to factor into your insurance rates. So being able to access to our credit rates helps with that as well. Yeah, and then so for the convenience, no down payment required. Obviously, a huge benefit, not having to worry about cash up front in order to take possession of the vehicle in order to make that purchase is another huge benefit. That's a healthcare exclusive benefit we offer. Wide selection of vehicles available in one place. Like I said, we partner with Ford, Lincoln, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Audi, Volkswagen, Honda, Nissan, Toyota, and Mazda was the new one. Back in the day when this first started, apparently Chrysler was the only one willing to take a chance on this whole program. And they quickly realized that when someone is in a new home country, the last thing they want to do is start causing issues and making waves. And so all of our customers have been very good to make their payments on time. We haven't had a single repossession in our entire history of working, which is incredible. But since then, in the very beginning, when Chrysler was the only one to take a chance on us, more and more manufacturers have been joining onto our program until all those manufacturers I just mentioned have joined us, which is very nice. Really shows the confidence that they have in our program and how it's just been building since then. And then, yeah, access to the rental car upon arrival. Again, another healthcare exclusive benefit. I think a very good benefit, especially considering that our vehicles take a little bit to ship from the manufacturer to the local area. Something we say, though, is if you can start speaking to us, if you can start speaking to International AutoSource pretty much once you know your relocation date, and you can start the car purchasing process, and you can order the vehicle before you even relocate to the country, you can kind of minimize the time that you're waiting for the vehicle to be delivered. We can kind of maybe organize it so that it gets delivered right as you arrive in the country. And if you're still in your home country and you put money down, and for whatever reason the relocation doesn't go through, you get all that money back. So you don't have to worry about anything like that. We don't want you to be concerned and not pull the trigger on a purchase where that could have saved you some time by having it shipped sooner, just because you're worried about not relocating. So if you do end up doing that and you put money down and the relocation doesn't go through, like I said, you get all of that back. We don't want you worrying about that. But if you're here and you purchase a vehicle, it'll take about 45 days, and we'll provide the rental car for free to use until then. Very good benefit. And yeah, just very nice to be able to handle all your auto needs in one place. Purchasing a vehicle is not a simple thing. Even for U.S. citizens, it is quite the headache. On my car that I have right now, I leased it right before 2020 happened, and then the whole pandemic was going on, and I think I was supposed to return my vehicle around 2022, and ended up purchasing out the vehicle just because I knew how much of a headache it was going to be to purchase a new car during that time period. And I was like, I don't even want to deal with any of that, and so I ended up buying out my lease. And that was a really nice thing that I was able to do. And if any of you guys end up leasing a vehicle with us and you run into a situation where you really like your leased vehicle and you're here, 3+ years permanently, whatever the case may be, those options are available to you as well. You can lease the vehicle and return it, lease the vehicle and buy it out. You can just finance a vehicle right off the bat if you're going to be here permanently. All those options that are available to you, available to a U.S. citizen normally, would be available to you as well. And then, yeah, the service, dedicated representative from beginning to end handles everything. We have a team of healthcare sales representatives. So we have our normal expat team that helps all of our expats. And then we have a smaller team of people dedicated just to helping out healthcare professionals. So we know exactly what you're going through and what kind of hurdles you have to jump through to get here and to get a vehicle. And so they're familiar with all of that, and they can help you out with everything, which is very nice. And also the delivery coordinators that I mentioned, who are experts in every region that we're delivering vehicles to. They can help you out with all the local kind of specifics and state specifics that go into it. We provide all the documentation that you need in order to lease the vehicle, and we help you complete it. We even have like a portal on our website where you can kind of like track your progress and see what else you need, and like you hit that like to-do button. It shows you the next couple things that you need to be completed. So a nice little tracker to kind of show you where you are along the process. And then, yeah, of course, we help with licensing and registration. We recommend heavily to obtain a international driver's license while you're still in your home country, which is basically, if your country offers it, it's just a translated license into English, which is easier to then transfer once you're here into a state license if the state you're going to allows that. Some states require you to get a U.S. license right off the bat, like I mentioned, so every state's gonna be different. And my team, the delivery coordinators, they'll be able to help you out with the situation regardless of what state you're in and what requirements you're running into. But yeah, the team, very good. They'll help you out with every step of the way. Very helpful team members. And move to the next slide. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I ran through pretty much everything. I try to make sure I go over the insurance and all the benefits that we offer. I know it's a very unique program that we offer. We're not, like I said, we're not like a middleman, like a Carvana or a broker or like a dealership. Factory direct pricing, direct distributor for all the manufacturers we partner with. But yeah, if you have any questions, I'd love to hear them.
Thank you, Zach. That was very informative. And yeah, if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. I do have some here that we can start with.
Go ahead.
What are some of the required documents that they will need to submit to apply for a car loan?
So I know they need, like I said before, the financial lease qualification form, which we provide them with, which is basically just showing the banks how much they'll be making when they get here. We'll need an employment letter from them, basically a letter on company letterhead that says how long you'll be here for and your employment, what it entails and all that kind of stuff. You'll need a social security number in order to register the vehicle, and I'm pretty sure every single state across the U.S. My delivery coordinators will help you out with that if you don't already have that going underway. We'll need to know the visa type that you're on to share that to the bank as well. And from there, I think those are the general requirements that will be needed. And then from there, it's going to be state specific, whether registration or getting a license. They might have some specific rules.
Okay. And then I know it depends on the car and the state that they're going to be in, but is there an average cost for a car that they should expect?
I know we try to get them into, I know most of our healthcare professionals are looking for entry-level vehicles. Off the top of my head, I know I had my director a while ago tell me for like a 2 to 3 year lease on like a mid-size SUV, I think we look at like something like $450, $550 a month payments. But I know mid-size SUV for a 2 to 3 year lease isn't exactly what all of our healthcare professionals are looking for. They might be looking for something more entry level, and typically that's what we recommend too. I know I had someone come to me one time who was like, "I'm ready for my American Dream Ram 2500," which I loved. It put a big smile on my face. But in the back of my head, I knew that my team was going to go talk to them and talk them down to something a little more affordable, because we want them to have affordable monthly payments. I think something closer to maybe like $400 a month, $300. I don't want to say something too good, but something closer in that range for our healthcare professionals when they're looking for more entry level vehicles. Like I know we have like some Nissan Kicks, which I think are around like $20,000 or $30,000, $27,000-$30,000. So yeah,
Okay.
I think something closer to like that 400 range that we could offer for those entry level vehicles.
Okay. And then do you offer pre-owned?
No, we only offer used vehicles. I'm told before I worked here, we did have a used vehicle program, but us being located only in New York and then shipping our vehicles remotely to all the dealerships that we work with across the country, we weren't really able to guarantee the quality of a used vehicle, being that we're up here in New York. And like, we could see 500 pictures of a vehicle, but that doesn't show us we can't guarantee that quality. And like, especially during the pandemic, when used car prices were like the same as new car prices, people were expecting that new car quality, and we really couldn't manage and keep up with that expectation,
Mm-hmm.
So we work directly with those manufacturers to offer brand new vehicles.
And I know you touched on this a little bit, but can you go back to this person is asking, can I use a license for my home country from Nepal in the state of Maryland?
In the state of Maryland, I actually have a state-by-state registration guide. Let me look it up really quickly. But yeah, we have it's very nice. We have the delivery coordinators. They probably know all this off the top of their head. But for me, I have this nice state-by-state registration guide. So I can take a look at this really quick and see if I can tell you. So let's see, from Maryland. Right, that was the state?
Yes.
So Maryland allows an international or home country's driver's license to register the vehicle.
Awesome.
You may have to change it over to a U.S. driver's license after a couple months. I'm not sure, that doesn't say on this sheet specifically. When you're talking to my delivery coordinators, they'll be able to tell you that for sure. But for the state of Maryland, it says here that you can, in fact, register it at first with a home country or international driver's license.
And then do any of the vehicles come in manual transmission? And is there a cost difference between manual and automatic?
You know, that's actually the first time I've heard that question. For manual, I don't think many people even want manual transmissions anymore. I'm pretty sure most of them are automatic. But that's a good question. I will actually ask you about that, because I know typically manual vehicles are a little more cost effective than a automatic transmission. So yeah, that is a good question.
And is there a limit in the amount to be financed?
No, we don't limit them on how much they can finance. I think the rates change based on how much you're financing. I think, let me see if I can pull this up really quick. There was a rate that if you stay below a certain amount, it goes one way. Let me see if I can pull this up really fast. So last time I checked, it might have changed. I don't believe so. It hasn't changed since I last checked. But so if for vehicles under 27K, it's 6.54%. And for vehicles above 27K, it's 8.49% rate. But we do not limit the amount that they're actually financing. No.
Okay, awesome. And then I know you mentioned starting this process before arrival. How soon should they reach out to IAS?
So we say as soon as they know their relocation date or their embassy date. If they have an embassy date where they're going to be getting that date where they can figure out when they'll be moving over, they can begin the process of speaking to us. Like I said, it takes about a month for the vehicle to get delivered. So if they can start the process while they're still in their home country, they know that, I would say once they know their relocation date is the best time to reach out to us. So once they know that, they can contact us and they can say like, hey, I'm going to be here on this day. And then we can kind of speak to them and coordinate to have the vehicle. If they decide to purchase a vehicle with us, we can deliver it so that it arrives around that same time that they're arriving. And like I was saying, if for whatever reason the relocation doesn't go through and they don't end up leaving their home country, they get all their money back. They don't have to worry about that being lost in the back of their mind, like, oh, should I do this, should I not? Like, we don't want that. We want them to feel confident and comfortable. So any money that they put down, they get that back if they don't end up relocating.
Okay, awesome. Well, I see a lot of questions that are kind of price specific on certain vehicles. So I would just suggest reaching out to an IAS rep when you sign up, as well as if you can use your driver's license in specific states, they'll be able to answer those questions for you. And let's see, I think that's all the time we have for questions. Any closing thoughts, Zach?
Well, like you have right here, this is our blog link right there, the blog.intelauto.com. That's where you'll see a lot of those articles and testimonials I was speaking about before. And there's my contact information there. So if you ever have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to me anytime. And I'll get you a response as soon as I can. I might have to speak to my team if you're asking me quotes and stuff like that. But, I'll get you an answer.
Perfect. And then I'm just dropping the links to our Facebook and YouTube channels. So if you do want to watch this webinar, later at a later date. If you missed any of the parts, Zach covered a lot of great information. You can do that. That will be posted on our YouTube channel. Please share with your friends if they have questions about getting a car in the US. I'm also going to drop our link for referring a nurse. If you know any nurse friends that are interested in working with Worldwide, we do pay out $250 for each referral. And then if you are interested in applying with us, you can just go to our website, healthstaff.org. But thank you so much, Zach, for this information and joining us today.
Thank you very much for the time. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great day.